One word, rehearsal. Souls with an S. One word, re- rehearsals. Rehearsals. I know, I know, rehearsals. It's Friday. You know what I mean? It's Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday. It feels like it's 48 hours. I know it's closer to 72, but it feels like it's happening like immediately, and I am not feeling as prepared as I should be. So please excuse me for pulling up late. I know these sessions are normally 5 o'clock, but rehearsals whoop ass. Is that Tiffany, first mechanic in the building? B74, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Thank you for taking some of your Miami time to come on, pull up with your boy. Again, much apologies, man. Rehearsals is really, getting down to the wire here, and I'm trying to make this a thing. So, yeah, I guess I might as well do the thing, right? I might as well do the thing, right? Yeah, all right. Salute to the room. Peace to the garage. This room is officially known as the garage. And now that the time is 6:38, I would like to officially open these doors and welcome all the mechanics who represent from across the globe and across the country and across the globe. Come on in, get your tool belt, get your coveralls. Let's get this thing on the rack. See where we at. Hit the hype, hit the share, hit the like, hit the sub. That's how you show your boy love. One time for all the mechanics who are pulling up. B74, Tiffany, thank y'all for being here. Again, little revelation. The hoodie gang. Yes, we are the hoodie gang. Ain't we? Hoodie God, hoodie gang. Yes, we are. I had a revelation on the way back from rehearsal that I wanted to jump into. Shout out to the homie Wayno. He's been covering this whole Gucci Mane Pooh Shiesty situation. And I had a conversation about it with Gat. One time for the boy Gat Taylor, my partner, on the new show. I had a nice conversation with Gat. And we were discussing, street shit. Shout out Just. I'm gonna just call you Triple J from now on. 3J. Sounds like a good nickname. Yeah, man, but I was having a conversation with him, and I call it me trying to get to the bottom of all this street stuff. I know what I know, but I'll never front and act like I know everything, especially when it comes to an area that I'm not prevalent in, which would be the streets. I don't move around the streets. I don't rack out in the streets like that. I move through the streets, but I'm not of the streets. So when I come across street issues and street business, I talk to those who know more than me. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please and thank you. Hit the like button. I see I'm flying. All right, we got it, B. They hit the like button. Thank you. Helps the algorithm, helps the channel. Much appreciated. Street adjacent. Perfect, B. Thank you. Thank you, B. Thank you. Street adjacent is a good way to put what I am. I'm the reason God made sidewalks, because the streets ain't for everybody. So I was asking him what it was, and he was, basically, Gucci's been preaching this street ish his whole run for as long as we've known him. All he's ever talked about it is how much he's from the streets, what he does in the streets, how he gets down in the streets, how he's unfuckwittable from the streets, etc., etc., etc. Completely understood. But like any gangster, eventually, they get chubby and move to Miami. They vacate the life. Not everybody is active for their entire run. If you're lucky, you get a way out. Bringing us to hip hop. I've never seen anybody with any real sense who rapped to stay in the position that they were in. No one wants to stay exactly in that position, especially those of us who are from hard times and hard places. I'm saying none of us who back to the none of us who are no one who's from a hard place and a hard time wants to stay there, right? Everybody who looks into any kind of career, not just rap, but any kind of career, it's done with the objective of being able to leave the conditions and situations that you're currently in, whether that be the streets or just a not so nice home environment, whatever it is. The money equals the freedom from those situations, right? Aircraft carrier, give me a second. I'm with you. Give me. It's not going where you think it is. It may not be going where you think it is. Just give me a second. I'm with you. What happens is Gucci is one of those guys whose finances, whose money, whose economic freedom came from the stories and the persona of a man who is deeply embedded in the streets. I'm not a rapper, I'm a hustler. That whole mantra. And as such, he preached the life. What he didn't preach was the exit. That's part of the problem. That's why he's still being held accountable to those exact same principles now that he is firmly removed, even after he's firmly removed himself from that life. That's why he's still being held accountable, because you never preached what it was like to get out. And if you did, it wasn't as loud as what you preached about being in. That's the issue. We've all said that, quiet apologies, uh what is it, not quiet, personal apologies don't negate public disrespect. You can't shit on me publicly and then want to apologize to me on a private phone call. That's why I always hate, you see that in the comments all the time. They got each other's numbers. He could have, no, no, no. He disrespected me publicly. The apology needs to be just as loud as the disrespect. Think that principle and apply that to what we're seeing with Gucci. Gucci has changed. He's not the same guy he was 20 years ago. None of us should be. None of us should be. However, what we know of him and what we have to draw from, the material he's given us as it pertains to his life, has always been wrapped and coded in the principles and morals and disciplines of a street dude, of a dude who is very active, not just a street dude, but an active street dude, right? And you don't get to just drop that and say, "Oh, I'm a grown up. What I look like calling the cops?" Well, you would look like a grown up calling the cops, but in the position that you've placed yourself in and chose to remain, you would look like a rat. You would look like a snitch because you never formally exited. Right. The apology needs to be louder. B74, I'm with you. The exit needs to be just as announced as the entrance. If you're out of that life, I respect it. I think that's a natural evolution for all of us. None of us is staying in the same position we were in. You move at it, you evolve from your parents' house, you evolve from your college dorm, you evolve from your single bachelorette pad, you evolve into, the family home, you evolve into a gated community. God willing, for everybody, right? We all evolve, and there are different rules and different ways we need to get down at each step of evolution. The problem is Gucci was firmly in the life of a very rich man, but he still preached. And rightfully, this is what his fans wanted. He was giving his fans what they wanted. He gave them the life that they wanted to see into, right? But it's one thing to make the music and then show the lifestyle as inspiration. But you just look like a rich street dude. You don't look like a dude who's no longer active in the streets. You just look like a rich street dude, and we've all seen them. So now you just look like one of them, which is why you have to make the announcement, I think. As corny as that may sound to a lot of people, you have to tell people. It has to be loud. I'm no longer out there. Like Jay has several lines where he lets you know he's no longer doing those things. I'm trying to pinpoint. It's even hard to pinpoint the album because it happened little by little as the albums continued. He would have a couple of dropbacks where he would talk about, this is what I'll do to you, this is what I have done, this is where I'm from. But then there was other lines with like, I'm in a 3-piece suit, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I got kids, picture me, and then you get into 444 where he got very grown up. He turned very adult on us in 444. He was talking about dealing with an upset wife, and she was upset for good reason. And he was talking about risking his family. He was no longer talking about risking his neck on the block. He was talking about, looking back and reflecting. Marcy Me is one of my favorite joints. So he was talking about, looking back on that old life. B74, to answer your question, how do you think he could music an interview? I think it needs to be a combination of both, because you can't count on an interviewer to ask you questions like that unless the interviewer is me. I'm probably going to ask you, okay, so what's life like now? You're no longer in the streets. You're no longer doing X, Y, Z. I'm going to give you an opportunity to let me know exactly what your life is like now. But I think it also needs to be reflective in the music because that's what your fans are checking for. I think your fans need to see your evolution. I think they need to see you moving ahead, moving up. Flex, it's the truth. I think they need to see you move ahead. And they're watching your music. Every fan may not check every interview, but if they're a fan, then every fan is going to check every song. That's where they're definitely going to see the progression. And it doesn't have to happen all at once. You don't need one big ass album that says, I've changed. Like, the name of the album is I've Changed. And the graphic is you walking out of street clothes and into a business suit. 7 each. Shut the fuck up. Don't tell me what to do. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Make your own hoodie. Include what you want on it. Don't tell me what to do. Fuck is you. Moving ahead. I will. If it gets you see what it is. There's absolutely no pure way to announce a direct exit, but it should definitely be in the music. The music is the main thing. The music is the main thing. People are going to check more for the music than they check anything else. The music is the main thing. I think when you lure, let me see what you're saying here, Aircraft. I think when you lure someone in and try to force your way out of a contract makes the situation murky. That's a fact. But here's what I'll say. And again, please don't. I'm not the street guy, right? I'm not the street guy. But here's what I'll say to that. And it's gonna sound kind of foul. Luring someone in with guns, luring someone in and threatening them with weapons is pretty much the embodiment of the street way to handle something. That's like the main formula. Tricking you and holding and guns, like that's that's the main thing. That's That's kind of like Street Dude 101. It's almost their entire playbook. It's just a the situation will call for different ways of getting busy, but we're talking about the same thing. It's all the same method of operation. It's not business. It's not corporate. And these contracts are business and corporate. But if you ever saw the Five Heartbeats, Big Red was a corporate dude who handled things in a very street way. He physical intimidation, physical harm, threats to your life. He actually took having somebody killed and intimidation over the phone. Like, that was Big Red. And if you don't have an education as far as how the music business works, you'll try to handle things the way that you're accustomed to. And for a guy who just came out of jail, this is what he knows how to do. This is what he thought would, I don't know how he thought this would help. But, when you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes who know the same amount as you do, this is the kind of stuff you come up with. That's what it looked like to me. That's what it looked like to me. So I think when we start talking about Gucci, and again, don't take me as I'm not the authority on this. I'm not. I promise you I'm not. And I'm not trying to speak like one. This is an observation after having a couple of conversations with a couple of dudes who I do take as authorities and listening to the general chatter. I think Gucci receives less backlash if his exit from that life is as loud and pronounced and just out there, obvious for everyone to see. I think if the exit is just as loud as the entrance and the living and the activity, I think it smooths out. I don't think you call him a rat if he's making it a point to let you know he's now a civilian. The only catch is you have to do it before you do civilian. You have to make the announcement before you do civilian activities. You have to officially retire from the street, and it needs to be loud. And then it needs to be consistent. You can't talk about flipping a brick on the very next album. You better tell a story about how when you did it before and what happened. You can go that route, but other than that, bro, a civilian's observation. Do with that what you will. In the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna get on out of here and let the mechanics rest. Go on, hang up your coveralls, hang up your tool belts. Let's get this car off the rack, see where we at. Hit the hype, hit the share. Wait, let's do it backwards. Hit the share, hit the hype. No, let's do it the way we do it. Hit the hype, hit the share, hit the like, hit the sub. There's a way to make that rhyme, but I'm not gonna do that right now. That's how you show your boy love. Please and thank you. I'm get on out of here. I want to thank all the mechanics for pulling up. I can't do it without y'all. Please hit the subscriptions, hit the subs. You hear the Lady Biggie 74. Again, just my observation. Don't take this as the gospel. I'm not preaching. I don't know. I'm just looking, and it's just a thought. Do with that what you will. Peel on out of here. God willing, I will see y'all tomorrow at 5 p.m. when we open the garage back up for some more conversation. Shout out to all the mechanics who pull up from across the country and across the globe. Thank y'all very much for chilling with me, and I will see y'all tomorrow, God willing, at 5. Rest them vocal cords. Get some rest. B74 Tiffany Banks, noted. God willing, see y'all tomorrow. Peace. 5 o'clock.